Oh, yo, what's good? Welcome to another episode of No Timeouts. You rocking with your boy Rashad and JJ. We here to spill the tea on everything going on out here. You know what I'm saying? But
What's up,
let's get
man?
it.
How you doing?
Shit, man, nice little Sunday morning. Waking up, cool night. Had to spend time with Denise last night. Busting my ass in the skating rink. But hey, it's all good.
That's good, bro. It's good to see you on here, man. I'm excited for this pod. We've been talking about this for a minute, and I feel like some of the topics we're going to talk about. Obviously, we have passions about different things, but sports is at heart, and I'm excited to do this, man, and just co-star with you, man.
Hell yeah, man. I wouldn't do this with anybody else. You know what I'm saying? We've always had the most amazing dynamic and the most amazing conversations about everything going on. You know what I'm saying? From football to basketball to life to what's popping on Twitter. What's the new music going on right now? It's always been great ever since our days of playing AAU basketball. So I'm definitely excited to see where this will take us, see where it will go. Honestly, man, I'm ready just to bring the world another perspective.
It's crazy. We talking about the AU days, man. We go way back. We go way back. I don't remember. I think I was in 7th grade, 8th grade, something like that.
Yep.
We had tryouts in the Irvington Community Center, the park. The park, not inside, outside.
Park.
And these kids today, man, they don't even know about playing basketball outside. Like, we really had tryouts for an AAU team in the park outside, like, in the summer. Like, that's crazy. But yeah, that's how far we go back, man. That's crazy.
I could. The funniest thing about that whole thing was, I remember, shout out my boy Mike Lowry for making the connections, But I remember when he was telling me about it, I was younger than y'all, you know what I'm saying? And he was selling me the dream. And then when he told me what the tryouts was, I remember pulling up and we went because I was there with him early. We met his uncle outside or his cousin outside. And then so we got there, and so we just was standing at the court outside. And I'm like, okay, maybe we just wait for everybody to get here, then we all gonna go inside together. And then when I see them busting out the basketball and setting up everything outside, I looked at, I was like, we practicing outside? He was like, he's like, yeah. I was like, oh, God damn.
You already see where this about to go, huh?
You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy, we from Fremont, like, let's be honest. So Fremont's not a poverty-stricken area, you know what I'm saying? It's a good area. So me thinking I'm doing an AAU team in Fremont, at least we might be able to practice in a gym.
Nah.
Man, that was probably the funniest experience, my first experience to AAU, I think, in my life, man.
Yeah.
To this day, I hold on to that.
Yeah,
man, we've gone back, and it's crazy. We kept the connection, and that's the one thing I definitely appreciate. You know what I'm saying? When you meet real people in your life, you keep them around, and it's saying we didn't even do it forcefully. You know what I'm saying? It was always smooth. You know what I'm saying? We didn't always, and it's one statement that people always say: real friendships last forever. You don't have to talk every day. You don't have to be, back and forth with the person every day. You don't have to intellectually call that person every day, all that type of stuff. But when we meet, it's like we ain't never skipped a beat. And
100%. Yep.
And I definitely feel that with what we had. So I definitely think that this is gonna be an amazing time. And just to let all y'all know, I hope y'all ready. Because if there's one thing you're gonna learn about me, I don't hold back. Just to let everybody know what to kind of expect, what we got going. Gonna have a lot of guests. That's a big thing. Introduce y'all to a lot of young athletes, old athletes, people in the league now, even just people with regular day life right now. I got a lot of friends, people that's really got something to say. You know what I'm saying? This isn't just a platform for us to talk. This is going to be a platform for me, for other people to bring things to your attention that you may not know, other people that you may not come across in your everyday life, and you get to hear their stories. Because there's one reason why I feel like I've grown to where I am is I've listened to what other people have gone through in their life and applied it to mine. And also it was good to see that other people are going through things, may not be exactly what you're going through, It may not be exactly what's going on in your life, but other things that's going on and you could pertain it to your life. So
Yeah,
that's
I think
definitely
I think a lot of times when we bring people on, we all can learn from each other, right? So if we can bring somebody on here that has something that we can learn from, regardless of the space that they're talking about, like we
yep.
definitely want to bring it on, and hopefully we all can learn from them, regardless of the space that they're talking about. So let's
Yeah,
do
that's
it,
true
man.
life. True life.
So what do you want where do you want to start, man? You want to start with these Warriors? You want to where do you want to start, man?
Well, you know my passion. It's come to the Bay. You know how I feel. So man, let's kick it off. Let's start with the homegrown. Let's kick it off with the homegrown.
So obviously the Warriors they lost in the second round of the NBA playoffs to the LA Lakers, and it was just a rocky season, to be honest with you, man. They it never really felt like they were finding their way. Like it never felt like it was gonna happen, like they were gonna repeat. Obviously, they won a championship last year, so it never felt like they were that team. Um, but to get through everything that they had and to be able to make it to the second round, like I respect them holding it together. What you think, man?
Def, definitely. Honestly, how I kind of seen it is, it's like put it. It's like this. When you was in high school, they always had that popular dude. The pretty boy. Everybody fucked with. You know what I'm saying? And his mentality is he can have whatever the hell he want, and he ain't got to do nothing for it. I felt that's how we walked through this season. I feel like that's how
Mm,
we went through this season. We went through this season like we good enough. We gonna make it regardless of what happened, how it happened. We could be 500 coming in at the AC. We gonna make it. And I'm not gonna lie, I can definitely say, being a diehard fan, I was a victim of that. People
mm,
were always bringing it up and saying it, and I was like, I ain't worried. I was like, I know what we gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Not paying attention to the areas we were lacking, not paying attention to the things that we weren't doing, that we needed to do to really, really come together. And to be honest, man, our troubles in the offseason when it all started, not gonna sit and sugarcoat it, that Poole and Draymond thing, that did a lot. You know what I'm saying? A team camaraderie is the way you win a championship. And to start that off like that, and low key, I feel bad, embarrassed the kid, like that. He's young, you know what I'm saying? He needed all the team camaraderie he can get, and to put that in his head and how it was, it was bad. It,
not just that. It's the fact that Draymond was like his big homie. You know what I mean? Like if you're
yeah,
24 and you're about to get the biggest bag that you've ever gotten in your life, and the big homie that you look up to that's really shown you the ropes punches
yeah,
you, and then everybody in the world sees it. Like I'm not. There's one side of me that's like I see Jordan's side of it, and like yeah, he had a decent season, but it was a roller coaster. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like
He was
and
out of it.
he was out of it, and I
Yeah,
don't. I can't say if it was because of the punch or whatever, but I definitely feel like that relationship it was never going to be the same. So
yeah. And the thing is, I won't even say it's more so the punch. I'm thinking it's more so just because the world's seen it. Like, I
100%.
think if that video never ever got leaked, that's fine. You can
Yeah,
hear about it. It's hearsay, she said at that time.
there's
Like, y'all
fights
don't know
all the time in
about it.
sports, but
Exactly.
they don't get leaked and talked about on ESPN for 2 weeks.
Especially when you see yourself get folded.
Right, you got folded.
So,
Yeah,
I see that, which is crazy, and I know, I don't want to be, what I'm saying, but it did make me have a little more respect for Draymond, though. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
Because he always was the talker in the league, and he always was, and people was always like, man, I don't think he really liked that. And seeing now how that went down, you can see how it went down. I was like, yeah, he's like that, because it was no talking. It went from talking. As soon as he walked over, it was on. And most people, when we grew up, honestly, niggas would talk, and they wasn't about it. Get in your face and everything. Wouldn't do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? And walk away. That boy didn't even get in his face. He hit him in the face. And that was
yeah.
it. And
So
it's
it
something.
So
It's
it
tough.
leads it leads to Poole getting traded this summer. Um,
Yeah.
which and let me ask you this: did you feel like they could have ever like came back together pre-punch, or do you feel like one of the two had to go for it to actually, that had to happen?
I think pre-punch, if that would have never happened and or got leaked, I think we would have been good. I think they would. It definitely they could have stayed together and we could have did something magical again this year. Pre-punch, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But after that, like you said, that's your big homie. And if you kind of don't come up in the life of a harder life and knowing that sometimes your big homie will punch you in the face and hug you after, you know what I'm saying, to teach you a lesson. Because to be honest, nothing against Jordan Poole. I don't know him personally. I'm not going to sit here and pretty much assume anything, but I'm pretty sure he didn't grow up in a hard life like that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he didn't grow up on the streets. You know what I'm saying? To the point of to have a big homie and realizing stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know me personally. I've been into. I fought with friends. You know what I'm saying? I've had those wars, and the same friends I have today. That we're still good friends. We were still nothing changed. We just had a disagreement, and it ended up going to where it went to, and we hugged each other after it was over. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes that's just what you need. But I definitely think that if that would have never happened, but maybe I can't really assume too much because at the end of the day, like even though the punch happened, you can't let that affect your game. You can let that affect your team camaraderie. You know what I'm saying? Maybe how if you ain't gonna pass him the ball and stuff like that, but your game and how you're playing and what you're doing and the decisions you're making on the court, that shouldn't affect that. And I
Yeah.
really felt like this year he was making a lot of questionable decisions. And I don't know if it was because he thinks he deserves a bigger role. He thinks he can go out there and kind of, do what he wants. He at the end of the day, thinking that, he and us telling him with the money we gave him, and I'm pretty sure the meeting that they gave him that he is next in line for us. He thought like, oh, for him, next in line was right now because he just got the bag. And I I think he should have still sat back and really, really listened because if you really looked at his demeanor, he didn't listen to nobody after that.
Yeah, you could see and Draymond spoke about this before. Like he couldn't use his voice like he wanted to this year. He
Mhm.
couldn't command the room and say defensively, you're supposed to be here. If somebody's making a mistake, he can't really hold them accountable like he did in the past because of the incident, right? So I don't know if they would have ever gotten past that. I wish Jordan the best, man. He did a lot here. He was in his bag last year. He deserved all the money he got,
Mhm.
but I think he needed a fresh start. I really
Yep.
do. Washington's gonna be good for him. Like
Yeah.
he's gonna shoot 25 times a game.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good spot for him. I really do. Like they're a young team. He can, have the ball in his hands all he wants. Now on the flip side, we're getting Chris Paul. And we got Chris
Look,
Paul, man. We got Chris
look,
Paul.
man. Look, even Steph
Talk,
gets to play with his son too. You know what I'm saying?
I still need more time with this, man. I need more time. He's a Hall of Famer. Let's start with that. He's a Hall of
Yeah.
Famer. He's a Hall of Famer, but he's 38 years old. And that's the part because I'm not even gonna look at it from the old Chris Paul days, because that's not who we're getting. I'm talking about Chris Paul I watched last year, how bro, he wasn't even able to bring the ball up a lot of times. And I'm looking at it from point guard lenses. Like
Yeah.
for whoever don't know me on here, like I grew up playing point guard, right?
Yeah.
So those playoff games versus the Nuggets, he would get the ball after it was inbounded, and the guy would pick him up the whole court.
Yeah.
He would just give the ball up because he had to work so hard just to get it to the front court. And I'm like, bro, if you can't get the ball up, like
Yeah.
that's tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm looking at from Chris Paul. It
Yeah.
scheme wise, like I don't know how it's gonna fit. Like they'll figure it out. They're all like geniuses in basketball, but
Mhm.
no, he's 38. So we'll see. What's your thoughts, man?
I I So it's funny you said that because we both played point guard. I was your backup point guard when we played at AAU. You know what I'm saying? So, and I felt the same way. I seen a lot of that, but in my eyes, I feel like this is the best opportunity for him because he could come to a team where he doesn't have to constantly worry about doing that, and he doesn't have to go up against the best defender coming up the court because we got two other dudes on the other side of that on our team that command that attention. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
So and him coming in, it was thing about it. I thought about a lot of things. If we know one thing we've noticed about Chris Paul over the years is he always breaks down towards the end, you
yeah.
know, and it becomes tough for him to even stay on the court. Now playing with us, he has the opportunity to come off the bench, which I think he should do. If he
20
starts,
minutes.
I'm gonna be upset to be honest. If he starts,
Yeah.
come off the bench, sit out games if he don't really feel all the way up to it. You know what I'm saying? We can get it done without you. You know what I'm saying? Also, just in a personal thing of just just calm down, don't worry so much. It's not all on your shoulders because if you notice, every team he went to, yes, the team was good. There was another superstar there, but they asked for so much from him that he had to do so much that at the end of the day, at the age of 38, you probably can't do the things you was doing when you was 28. You know what I'm saying? You
100%.
need
Yeah.
you need to somebody to help relieve you. And I feel like coming to us is the best opportunity for him and for us because at the end of the day, that's $100 million we got off the books. You know what I'm saying? And we can go back to building the team around him or at least the second unit around him to help him because at the end of the day, you're right, he's old, but when he got that ball in the half court and he's making decisions, I rarely see him make the wrong one.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. No,
and I
I
think
go ahead. Go ahead.
and I think that'll be good for him. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because we have very, very good talent for the second unit, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna bring in somebody else, another couple of vets, see what it is. And we have enough talent to the point where Chris can do something with that. Because I've seen him do really good with worse.
Yeah.
I've seen him, make it to the playoffs against the Lakers when he was on the Hornets when he had his best sidekick was Laurent Landry. Like,
Yeah.
let's be
I think
honest.
a lot of the issues that we had last year, and just comparing him to Jordan, Jordan wasn't able to get others involved. Like he would have sometimes he'd have a bad shooting night, he'd have a great shooting night, but like I don't know if he ever like was able to help Kaminga or ever able to help the second unit. You know what I mean? And Chris Paul is going to be able to help Kaminga and Moody and these younger guys get easier shots in the second unit.
Yep.
So if you look at it like that, I feel like that's a good look for them. You'll be able to really unlock the younger guys and let them take another step. So we'll see, man. And free agency is coming up next week.
We'll see.
What do you want them to see? What do you want them to sign? Like what kind of player are you looking for them to sign?
For sure we need this is the thing, we need some more size. I feel that small ball is what we do. I get it, don't get me wrong, but it catches up to us and people start to catch on and then it becomes hard. And the Lakers series is a prime example. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
When we were playing them, every time we went small, they were hanging with us because they would go small. But their people at the 4 and 5 were a lot more elite than what we could offer to stop. You know what I'm saying? Because every position they had was be able to score the ball. And I was like, for us, when we went small, it sucked because and this is the one thing, my only gripe with Draymond is when he was on the court, he wasn't being aggressive. You know what I'm saying? You think about the
mm,
game he was aggressive when he had 20-some points, we blew him out. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one of those things where we need somebody that's going to come in and assist the small ball lineup. It's a big man that can be versatile, like a Christian Wood. I was like, I definitely think Christian Wood would be good for us. Of course, I really, really want them to go after Brook Lopez. I think Brook Lopez would help our lineup regardless of how it is. I was like, and we can also match up with teams when they decide to go big on us because a lot of teams now are kind of going back to that two big man lineup, especially when they're playing us and just playing anybody and trying to really take advantage of that. And he's a shooter. You know what I'm saying? And that's the best thing about it. He still kind of fits our mold because he can stretch the floor. He can step away from the basket. And he's great defensively. And I think that's another thing too. Like all of our everything we had, we were good playing defense. And we had Draymond, but it was always somebody else with us that we was helping. And I feel like we're kind of lacking in that area. You know what I'm saying? Because once you take Clay off the court, Wiggins off the court, who's guarding? Who GP2 can't guard a 6'10" dude all goddamn game. You know what I'm saying? He at the end of the day, he got balance, he got grit, he got heart, but at the end of the day, you're 6'3". You know what I'm saying? Or I think it's like 6'5" or something like that. You're 6'5", and at the end of the day, the height, you're gonna lose eventually. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I just really think that we just need to go find some anybody, veteran minimums, there's people out there good size that can step away from the basket, but honestly more so defensively. That's why I think the Christian Wood thing is a good thing to me. Brook Lopez, definitely somebody I want to go after. I don't think we need any more guards. We have a bunch, you know what I'm saying? We have so many. And if not, like I think the other thing too is we definitely need to just start letting Kuminga loose a little bit. Like, you know, because
Free Kuminga.
real, right? That's what I'm saying.
Look, he's 21 years old, and he's gonna make mistakes, you know, and sometimes you just got to live with the mistakes. But that's a part of growth in basketball. So, you know, I know Kerr likes older players, and that's just, you know, you can see that. Yeah. But as far as free agency, Brook Lopez definitely would be a good option. I think we definitely need another big that can shoot. We tried it with JaMychal Green, it just didn't work out. I could also see I could see Kevin Love also. I know he's not the best defender in the world, but I could definitely see them going after Kevin Love too. So keep an eye on that
for a while too.
Yeah,
we've been talking about that for a minute. Like, and I remember back before, even when we made our run last year, I was saying we should have went and got him before because he would have fit. You know what I'm saying? And
smart
and
IQ.
I think, yeah. And the way we like to play, he's a great outlet passer. You know what I'm saying? And I think it would be amazing. Like I said, me guard wise, I think we're good. We got a lot of rookies. You know, we got at the end of the day, you know, we got to me the best guard in the league. Honestly,
the God.
You know, the God. Like I don't. People we can argue about it. People argue me all day about it. I don't. You can't say he ain't the God. He changed the game. So, but I feel like guard wise we're good. I feel like now we just need to be able to sometimes when a game gets to the point where we crashing boards and putting buckets back and having more of a hard nosed game, we need some of them boys. You know what I'm saying? We need them boys on our team. So I just hope they go get what we're supposed to get and not just start signing people for no reason. Like the year we freaking signed D'Lo to that big ass contract just because we had the money to sign somebody to a goddamn contract. Like that's the shit that be pissing me off.
Yeah. So draft last week, like you said, we did get another guard. First off, I want to see what you thought of the first pick, Victor Wembanyama. Can he live up to this hype, man? I think the biggest thing for me is, you know, he's 7'5". He is really skinny. Can he live up to the hype that everybody's putting on him? Obviously, we've all seen clips of him at this point, but can he live up to the hype that we're putting on him? And I did see last night that he went to dinner with Tim Duncan, David Robinson, and Ginobili, which was really dope. That they're already starting that process with him with the legends of that group. So I like that they're putting a good foundation and a good, you know, just a support system around him. But can he live up to the hype that we're putting on him?
First, before I get into that, let's just talk about that picture.
Yeah.
Don't ever make Tim Duncan. Actually, forget it. Don't ever make Manu Ginobili look like he's 5'6". Bro.
Yeah,
like that boy 6'5".
Yeah,
that boy was looking like a child. I think, and this is the thing where the generation now that we're in can either make or break him because social media, everybody has an opinion. You know, Twitter, you know how Twitter is, you know, anybody's one little wild tweet from a random person from Hoboken can turn around and go viral. I think the hype is a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. Like they're putting a lot on the kid, and I just don't want him to turn around and do the Darko Milicic. You know what I'm saying? all the hype you got around you, you're supposed to be amazing. And remember, Darko did that 30 for 30. He said like that shit did a lot to him mentally. It really messed with his game. He felt like he came over here and was so much pressure on him that he couldn't get it done. I think he's amazing talent for sure. He's definitely a generational talent, how they like to say. Being that tall, being able to handle the ball is it's a very, very rare thing to see. Like, and I think that's the thing. But I just think he's very slight of frame. That's my one thing. And people that are usually that big and that slight of frame usually have a lot of health issues.
Feet,
Like feet,
legs.
feet, legs. Yep.
That's the one. That's the issue. You know, I was watching Bill Walton's documentary, and he was talking about like he had hundreds of feet injuries. You know, just big guys. Yao Ming. That's how his career got cut short.
Yep.
I want to say that he's seen everything. Like he's seeing it from a different lens. Like yes, he's 19, but he just seems like he's carrying himself different than a lot of these other teenagers that are coming in.
Yeah, and I seen that too. I seen that in his first interviews. I seen that with just way he was talking. And honestly, like a lot of these rookies wouldn't go out to that dinner. Let's be honest.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
No, they wouldn't. That's a fact.
They would have ducked that. You know what I'm saying? Like they would have ducked it, think, hold on, I'm gonna go out with my homies instead. I just got the bag. You know what I'm saying? When I need to go talk to these old dudes, they ain't even in the league no more. And he don't see it like that. So I see that he's willing to learn, willing to soak up. I definitely think he's gonna have a lot to work on. He definitely needs to put some weight on, regardless of how it looks. Just help support the frame and the grit of the NBA. Like at the end of the day, it's getting more physical. And it's the same thing like they said about Steph when he came out. He's too slight a frame. And as long as he can put some weight on, put the right weight on, the right muscles, and really focus on those areas, I think he'll be okay. Also heard that, you know, it's funny when he was being hyped up to drafts. Oh, yeah, he can shoot from the outside. And then once he got drafted, well, he can't shoot that good. It's like, bro, what is it? Like, can he do it or can he not?
Yeah, we already switching up on him.
Yeah, you already switching up on him because he missed a couple shots at Summer League or, you know, missed a couple shots at the gym. You know what I'm saying? Give the kid a chance to develop. And I just hope the world and freaking the Twitter police and all that stuff doesn't murder him before he gets a chance to really develop and really just kind of damper his development because everybody's being so judgmental. I think for me, the best thing for him going forward for this whole process might just be to stay off social media. Don't worry about what people are saying. Just work. Get to the point where, you know, you're putting that work in. Like if there's one thing, you know, I 100% respect about LeBron is he did that. You know, he always works
from the beginning.
Always a hard worker. He's always put in the work, put in the time. You know what I'm saying? He puts in the time like he's the 12th man on the bench. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think if he can adopt that, I think the sky's the limit for him because of just his physicals, regardless. You know what I'm saying? The physicals that he has. But, you know, I really want to say it's yet to see. I definitely, to be honest, I'm not going to sit and act like I was playing board. I don't think he's going to be as good as the world thinks he is. I do think that the physicalness of the NBA might get to him, but I think if he can adopt the work ethic to deal with that, I think he'll be great. You know what I'm saying? And I have no problem eating my words and turn around and apologizing for it or just say, you know what I'm saying? But that's just my honest opinion. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just right now, the one thing I've noticed about the NBA draft for these past couple of years, I feel like, I don't know what's going on marketing wise, but they do these to these kids to get these kids the bag. And in terms, some of these kids turn around and they're not even half of what you're saying. You know,
they're not. A lot of these kids aren't ready, to be honest with you. And we're putting a lot of pressure on them. And they've been told since they were 14, 15, because of their AAU circuits, that they're the guy. And, you know, a lot of these guys are getting drafted from what they've done in high school, which is crazy. Like you were 16 and you were already slotted to go in a lottery in 3 years. Like, and you haven't progressed in your game at all, but because of what you did at 16, like you're a lottery pick now. But Wemby, man, I wish him well. Just keep a small circle, you know. Whoever your circle is, like LeBron, like you said about LeBron, like he kept his guys with him. He kept a small circle. He didn't, you know, allow other people to come in, just build with them. Um, fly your girl from France, whatever you need to.
Yeah,
Just don't be Zion Williamson. That's
yeah.
all I'm gonna say.
Don't even get me started. Don't
I
even
had to say
get
that. I had to say that. Just I had to say that.
I,
I had to say that.
man, it was funny. So just like go off. Just a quick tidbit on that. I remember on Twitter they put out a statement and it said when it was talking about him going to Portland, and it said, "Damn, who would stop these two?" And it was funny because I retweeted it and I put porn stars and cheeseburgers.
Hey man, it's crazy. It's crazy because at one piece I'm like, all right, how would I act if I had the platform that he had or the access that he had? Like, how would I
Yeah,
act? But there's
yeah.
also, it's like, man, you've been working your whole life for this opportunity, you know, and all you really need to do is just lock in for 8-9 months. You got your whole summer to do whatever you want to do in the summer,
Yeah.
but man, I just
And
want him to lock
being
in,
in the
bro.
NBA, you got the best. You have the best strength and conditioning, health people, all that type of stuff. Like
I
how
just want him to lock
how
in,
you
man.
fumbling it. And the thing about me, I'm gonna be completely honest. If I was in this position, I get it. Women come. That you're an
Part
NBA
of it.
athlete. They gonna be there. Why you falling in love with that one?
That one.
She
You seen the
she's
tattoo? You
yeah
saw the
she
tattoo? Tattoo
like
on her face?
you paying the bills of a girl swallows eats dick for a living. Like, let's just be honest here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that thing. Like, and you can go and have any other woman you want. Some that aren't so like that. You know what I'm saying? So much into what the world wants to say has to put you on blast. Like, find the right one. You could if you a smart individual, you could see that she was like that from Jump Street. You know what I'm saying? This should be signs. It's like, did you just ignore him? You know what I'm saying? Where you just focus on that fake ass because it's all fake. Let's just be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like it's is if you poke your finger and then it bounces back at you, that shit ain't real. You know what I'm saying? Like what is the and if everything else is fake on her, what do you think she's gonna do in life? But
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is like we just want Zion to be Zion, man. Like that's really the only reason why I'm bringing it up is like I
yeah,
remember how he broke the internet when he was in high school.
uh,
Like we were seeing him really go crazy in high school games, and I want that. Like as a basketball fan, like I want to see him do that in the NBA, and I still think he can. Like maybe this just wakes him up. Like, all right, I need to lock in. Like I really need
yeah,
to lock in on what the opportunity I have. That's the biggest thing. It's just the
or,
opportunity
or maybe the
will
kid.
be gone soon if he doesn't
Yeah,
lock in.
yeah, true. Or maybe the kid. He's having a baby. Maybe that'll wake him up. You know what I'm saying? Like something. Because you're right. For me, the hype around Wembyana was what the hype around Zion, but I believe Zion could live up to it. You know what I'm
He
saying?
still can.
Because yeah, and he has a lot of time, but he has to, like you said, lock in. Like put your blinders on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And realize you can be one of the greatest to play this game if you would just literally just get the work in. You know what I'm saying? And it's not gonna take much. You're so talented. You
yeah,
have natural born gifts that anybody on this planet would freaking pray for. Like, ain't no way you're supposed to be that big and being able to jump that goddamn high. And honestly, even be able to be he's pretty quick for his size. Like, you have so much going for. Come on, bro. This boy blew out his shoes in a college game. Like, come on, man. The shoes can't even hold you. Like, I
yeah.
need you to lock in.
Please, please,
And
Zion.
that's the thing that sucks about this whole day and age. NIL deals, all the money. There's no more working for it. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is show out in college and high school, and you're gonna get a bag. And you're gonna be all right. And put out a couple more YouTube videos about you dunking while you're hurt. And all right, here's your $183 million extension. Like, my nigga, like, and for me, I'm also mad at all these organizations when it comes to stuff like that. Like, come on, y'all been around for 20, 30 years. Why y'all giving a bag to somebody that might just fumble it? Like, you're pretty much giving him the power to do whatever the hell he wants. Because remember, like last year, they were so scared to lose him, they gave him all that money, and he really even barely played 110 games in his 3 years that he's been in the league. Like, Come on, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I really think that I trust me. I believe it. I want them to be good. I said, but sometimes some of these kids need a wake up call. Sometimes you got to lose it all to really know what you missed. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I don't want them to lose it all. You know, I hate to see that, but maybe this whole situation will do it. And at the end of the day, man, Zion, if you ever pick a peep at this episode, let her go,
Shit.
please.
Yeah.
Like, please,
I know you fish. That's one you throw back, man. That's not one you keep.
bruh.
That's one you throw
Instantly.
back.
That's that.
That's
That's
not
that.
the one you take home.
That's that one you pull out the water and it got some parasites on it. It might be your PB, the best fish you caught, but you see the parasites,
Yeah.
make the right choice. Throw it back.
Throw that back. Throw that one back. So going back to the draft, anybody you feel like winners, losers, anybody you felt like not just the Warriors, but was there anybody that you were like, you know what, I like this kid. This is a good spot for him. Or you felt was there anybody also that just lost, that took a L in the draft?
um, I'll be honest. There was a lot of talent this year, so I don't feel like anybody necessarily lost. They got a lot of good potential, but I will say that you know the Thompson twins. I do like the first one being picked, but I didn't like the fact that the other one got picked right after. I didn't like his situation. Who did he go to? It was the
Detroit. The second one went to
Detroit.
Detroit. Yeah.
Detroit. I don't think Detroit has enough guards. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Mhm.
have enough. Like there was other positions you could have filled that you more so needed. But I really think it is crazy. And I know people are gonna like kind of bash me for this. I don't want to say a biggest loser. I would definitely say a team that may have fumbled something was us
Mm.
because the kid who got picked after from Villanova that went to the Rockets, literally the pick right after us was somebody that would have fit perfect with us. A big man, explosive, can step away, get his own shot. He was a projected top 5 pick, but just because he had some bad interviews, he fell. And they said he was just too cocky. It was like half the NBA is too cocky.
Yes. So Cam Whitmore, basically top five. That all the mock drafts had him top five, right?
Yeah.
And they said when he did his interviews, he was lackadaisical. They said, does he even want to be in the room? Like that's how they felt interviewing him.
Yeah.
And if the man can hoop, the man can hoop. Like period, point blank. Like if the game's at 7, he's ready at 7. You know,
Yeah.
like that's all we need from him.
Yeah.
I'll say a biggest loser for me. Um, I don't understand when somebody's averaging 8-9 points a game, how they go in the top 10. Um, I think, and maybe this, and I don't even know how to pronounce his name. I think it's Bilal. But the
Yeah.
point guard that played with Wemby in France.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have questions. I have concerns. I have big concerns because they said he was on the JV team for the beginning of the season, and he moved up to play with Wemby later on in the year, and now he's a top 10 pick in the draft. That's crazy to
He
me.
that's the Wemby
I'm
effect.
concerned. I'm concerned.
That was
And
the Wemby
like I
effect.
said, if he gets it together, I'll come on here and say, hey, the boy can hoop. But
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know,
it's
man. I
that's
don't know.
that that's that Wemby effect because it's the same thing. Like, man, I'm trying to think. Oh man, I can't really pinpoint somebody that kind of got the bag because their teammate was good. Um, but that's what that is. If they think at the end of the day he was out there affecting and helping him win chips and do things, they probably thought they can get the same thing. But this other thing about the draft, which also irks me, first round is all they do potential. They do who has the best potential, highest upside, da da da. But you got a dude that's been in college for 4 years, dragging, getting better every year, and
Jaime
he's
Jaquez.
just Jaime Jaquez,
Yeah.
even the dude from Indiana, what was his name? The light
Trace.
skinned dude,
Yeah, the one we took in the
Trace
second round.
Jackson.
Yeah.
Even I'll even say even little Amari Bailey, even though he was a freshman, like people that have shown they can really, really get to it. They really know how to play. They really can can affect the game because they know how to, they're being looked at back because they don't maybe have the most so high ceiling or potential. It's like, how do you gauge potential? What are you gauging this on? What are you gauging the ceilings on? Like, because he has longer arms, he's taller, and he's like, what does that mean? Like, I go to the gym right now and I'm freaking 5'7", 5'8", or I'm overweight. I'm busting niggas' asses that are in shape, and it's no different. Like, what makes the difference with that person and me? Like, why would you pick him? Because he's in better shape. He can run up and down the court. He's a little taller. It's like tall and all that stuff does not put the dog in you and does not give you the tools for the game. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these kids show they have the tools for the game. Like even Sheboy from Kentucky didn't even get drafted.
Didn't get
You
drafted.
know what I'm saying? Yeah. Didn't even get drafted. Didn't even get picked up. You know what I'm saying? And it's like one of those things like, really? Like, what's going on?
Yeah. I think the NBA draft is always it's done backwards. Like I understand you have to look at these 19-year-olds a lot, but I would definitely like we said about Jaime Jaquez, like he brings a lot of value because he can play from the very, very beginning. Day one, he can play,
Yeah.
So we'll see, man. But yeah, that's the one that stood out to me the most. Our draft pick, he can hoop. He's a lot like Dante DiVincenzo, which we're probably not going to bring back. He's kind of that guy. So we'll see. I'm gonna give him a chance, but he can shoot. That's what the Warriors do. So we'll see.
I never, like I said, I didn't know too much about him, and I never really did too much research on him, just to be completely honest. But from what I see in the little highlights, he's a hooper. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like. He definitely transferred to Santa Clara to get his chance to show that he can score the ball and, have a chance to lead a team, which I think was amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't just jump to the league like, all right, I'm just going to jump to the league. He went to develop more, which I also like. But then also it's just more so I just, I want to see his potential, but I just say like Cam Whitmore was there. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the thing for me. He was there. And for us, we only had one pick. So it was one of those things like you want to take, I get it. We want to take potential, but where we are right now, we're win now. We're going after trying to get Steph another one, trying to get Clay another one, trying to really win right now. And if we're trying to win right now, I think Whitmore would have been the better pick. You know what I'm saying? Because we already got kids on our team that are trying to develop, that are we're trying to bring up. Kuminga, Moody. We let go half of our other. Excuse me. We let go of half of our other outstanding rookies for Chris Paul, but we got people that we've been trying to develop. And sometimes we don't have the time for that. You know what I'm saying? Like we know at the end of the day when this is all over, we're gonna have to rebuild. So why are you trying to do it right now?
Yeah, the 2 timeline didn't work. The 2 timelines that they initially said for the Warriors just didn't work out. It's never worked in the NBA before. So, I had my doubts with it, but they tried it. Wiseman, Poole, those guys are gone now. I don't know, man. Wiseman, I still feel was the right choice at that point.
He was. I don't think we should have got rid of him either. I think that the organization was just kind of frustrated with his injuries. I get it.
Yeah, it was a tough decision.
But if there's a player that can show you that if you give them time to overcome them injuries, they can be amazing, Joel Embiid. And I felt that Wiseman had that talent. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not, completely best Joel Embiid, but he could have been a poor man's Joel Embiid. You know what I'm saying? And I'll take me a poor man's Joel Embiid over a lot of these other fools we got to deal with. And I think that he had the size and athleticism. And at that point, we needed that. In the playoffs, we for sure needed that size and athleticism.
It's just he gets so frustrated with himself when he doesn't get the ball in the post, and he was never going to get the ball in the post here. So just go set a screen, run the floor,
run to the rim,
and we'll throw you a lob.
Figure it out.
You a lob. We'll high five you and move on, bro. Like he be posting up so hard. It's like, that's not what we do here. Respectfully, that's not what we do here.
I'm gonna need you to turn around and get the ball off the rim.
Go get it. Go get it. You want it so bad. Go get it off the rim. Yeah. So we're both diehard Raider fans, man. Like when these pods come out later in the year, we'll probably both have Raider gear on. Like Let's just say that first and foremost.
Decked out.
So we got a lot of question marks this year, man. Derek Carr, played a really long time here with this team. Of my lifetime, he's the second best quarterback to ever wear a Raider uniform of my lifetime, right?
Yep.
And he's in New Orleans now, which is crazy to say. And a lot of Raider fans have been on his head for so many years, saying he's soft, whatever. And they finally got their wish that he's out of here. So, was
Yep.
it the right time to get rid of Derek Carr and welcome in Jimmy Garoppolo?
You know how I feel about this. Look,
Whew.
for me, this was the thing. Get rid of him. I understand it. I don't like how we did him at the end of the season. I don't. I think we could have won a lot of those games at the end of the season if he played. I also feel no, we got rid of him too early. We should to get rid of him for Jimmy G it was crazy. Like it's damn near like you pretty much take your used car to the lot trying to buy a new car, but you walk back out with another used car. Like what the fuck? Make that make sense to me. Like that's the thing that got me. And at the end of the day, what we want to do, yeah, okay, we might be in rebuild mode because we do need to get something, but you can't sit here and blame somebody for having any type of fault in his career when our defense was ass. We have had the assest defense over the past 15 years that I've ever seen in my life. I am a diehard Raider fan. I do this. I say, but we haven't had a top 20. I'm not even going to go 25. Well, actually, we even say 25 because I don't even think we've had a top. I think the closest we had was 25. The year when Derek Carr when we were about to make the playoffs and Derek Carr got hurt, because I think our defense was like 24 or something like that. We ain't had one since we drafted him. And you ain't winning a goddamn thing without a defense. I don't care what you talking about. I don't care. Everybody talking about the Chiefs the years before, they had a decent defense. Their defense was good enough to stop somebody every once in a while. And that's the only team you could probably tell me right now that didn't have a good defense when they won a ship was them. The Chiefs a couple of years ago when they really only had my man Jones in the middle and Tyrann Mathieu in the back. That was probably like the best they had. And they barely had, their defense wasn't even all that. But it sucks because a lot of the Raider community blamed him for something that we should be pointing our finger at. I'm not even going to sit here and point it at our defensive players because we had a lot of defensive talent, but our coaches sucked. The people you bring in to help the coaches sucked. Like you're bringing in people that don't fit the schemes with the coaches going. It's like our GMs literally act like they're playing Madden and they're picking the best person on the free agent list just to add to a team. It's like it just didn't fit. And I felt that it sucks because we had Derek here. He bring us probably the best receiver we've had since we've had Brown and Jerry Rice to come to play for us. And then I'm not even gonna talk about Moss because Randy Moss didn't want to be with us, to be honest. But
we don't speak of Randy Moss. If you're a Raider fan, we don't even pick him up.
You know what I'm saying? Disrespectful, bro. But he did that, brings us, and then you gonna turn around and ship him out, and it's like you didn't even give them a chance to gel. You know what I'm saying? You didn't even give them a chance to really show what they were because they was balling year one, going crazy. We went to the first game. We see what he was doing. We had like 11, 17 targets, 11 catches, like 100-some yards. He was dragging. And it sucked because, we lost that goddamn game. But you want to know why we lost that game? Because our defense couldn't do a damn thing. You know what I'm saying? We weren't stopping. We weren't turning people up. We had some stops that game because I remember we were holding the Chargers to a certain point. We came back. But it wasn't turnovers. It wasn't the stops we needed. These stops were coming after they drove from the 20 all the way to the other 20. Then we finally stopped them. You know what I'm saying? Like there was nothing going on. And at the end of the day, Max Crosby can't do it on his own. You know what I'm saying? And that's all we got on the other side of the wall. Like it's one of those things where me, and you know me because I was a Carr truther. I feel like he was the best quarterback we've had since we had Gannon. I feel like he was definitely a solitude, something we knew we had faith in. We knew when the game came on the line and the ball was in his hands, we had a chance to win. every time you turn around and give that up for Happy Feet.
That's what we calling him. Happy Feet.
Happy Feet, bro.
That's what
You
we
stop
calling him.
playing. And backing out the end zone with somebody running at him, throwing up ducks when he got pressure in his face. You know what I'm saying? Can't even hit a proper deep ball. You know what I'm saying? No, he was one deep ball away from the Niners talking about we got him, finally got that 6. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. They were going after other people. I get it. You know, we for sure were going after Aaron Rodgers hard. I know they were. But at the end of the day, you don't treat somebody that's gave so much to our organization how we treated him at the end of the year. And that's
Yeah. Derek, man, he's it's a complicated relationship we've had with him for so many years because we haven't surrounded him with much talent, you know. But it's also like this group of coaches had a different idea of what they want to do. And it's not his fault that, you know, Josh McDaniels didn't draft him. He wants his own guys. Like, he gave everybody a chance last year. It was like a tryout. Everybody got a tryout for 1 year. And, you know, I've heard Derek talk this summer. He's like, man, I didn't, you know, I just wasn't vibing the same as I was. Like, I think a lot of the Gruden stuff, you know, probably was still in his head. Like, that's Gruden's his guy. You know, I see Gruden working with him this summer in New Orleans. Like, I see that. I just thought I it's kind of back to like Jordan Poole. I just think he needed a fresh start. I think it was time for the fan base to get a fresh start, but for them to come back with Jimmy G was just, I thought they would get somebody in the draft. Like, if you're gonna go get rid of Derek Carr, like let's go get one of these young guys and let's give him the keys and give him a chance to build. But for you to come back, like you said, a used car, it's another. They're kind of similar, you know. They're kind of similar. I don't Jimmy G. I'm gonna give him a chance. I'm gonna give him a chance. He's won a lot of games, and everybody says it's just a defense or it's a system. He's won a lot of games, man. So that's one thing we don't do. We haven't won a lot of games. So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and say, dog, you was winning 12, 13 games a year for the last 3-4 years. So
you better come show me something.
Come do that here.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say.
And that's it. And I feel it. And I that's the reason why, like, at the end of the day, I don't want to be too hard on Jimmy. Don't get me wrong. I seen what he did over there, and he was good. The scheme, but the thing about it is also, you know, that Shanahan scheme is a little easier to look
it's
good.
Special. It's special.
You know It's special. Yeah. And the thing about it is, and also when you have a defense like that that's giving you the ball on their side of the 50, turning people over constantly, it's like this. You give me 20 shots to make 1 3 for $100,000, I'm making one of them. But if you give me 3 shots to make a 3 for $100,000, I'm gonna be pissed. I don't know if I'll be able to get this done. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it is because, you know, that defense set them up. But I'm ready. I'm ready to see because, you know, we did make strides. I think I am excited, but I'll be honest with you. And I've been saying this for like the past couple months. Shit, I'm taking for Caleb.
Hey, just bubble wrap that man. Just come on, bro. Just bubble wrap him. Let's have him ready for next year. For sure.
I'm going to the games mad if we win. I'll be walking there like, damn it.
It's another draft pickup. Yeah,
it's just because if that's what Josh McDaniels wants, then go get the best one that's coming. And I think that kid really, honestly, is the best talent that's coming. He's gone to 2 different places, been successful, shown you that he knows how to work. You know what I'm saying? He beat out a dude for the job at time, got that dude shipped out. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you go buy Spencer, and look, that's what we can have. And I'd rather have somebody that has the work ethic. And I also feel that it's time, bro. Like, we've been Raider fans for forever. Like, we've been going to these games and leaving more drunk because we sad than anything else. I'm at the bar by halftime because I know this thing is done, you know, for the fork in us, and I'm tired of that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm never gonna turn my back on the team because at the end of the day, it's the experience of the whole Raider experience of being a Raider fan, the tailgate. If you've never been to a Raider tailgate, I'm sorry, You're probably never gonna experience it again, people. But if you ever had a chance to experience it once, that is probably the most amazing experience I have had in my life because of the fans we have. We're true fans. You know what I'm saying? We love our team. We love the city, and we loved coming together and enjoying just the time, the couple hours we had together doing that. Like if you ever been to Ray Taylor, you could walk to anybody's tailgate and they're gonna hand you a shot. They're gonna
It
hand you a
was
hot dog.
it was special.
It
It was a
was.
community. It was a community. It was like a family picnic, family reunion in the parking lot before the
Yep.
games. You need a shot. You giving
Yep.
shots to random people. Like you said,
Yep.
you can get a burger from anybody, like whatever
Yep.
you needed.
Yep.
Just a special time in that parking lot, man. And that's the thing that I wish, unfortunately, yes, they're in Vegas now. It's never going to be the same. I'm always going to support them, but man, those times in the parking lot before the game,
Lit.
lit, bro,
It's
lit,
fun, man. I had the best
yeah,
times of my life. You know what I'm saying? There, I
man.
literally, it's crazy. So even in my job, right? I've been in for 10 years, right? It's my. I used to always say at the airport, it's super hard to get weekends off when you in the beginning, and I used to always do whatever I can to get my Sundays off. And people's like, man, why are you so adamant on Sundays off? I was like, I gotta go to church, and they'd be like, what? I was like, I gotta go to church, and then like, oh, where you go to church? I was like, O.Co. 66 Ave. I was like in the parking lot, you know what I'm saying? And they would
Lot
just
D,
laugh. But it was true though. It was true. It was
yeah.
that's what it was to me. It was home. It felt amazing. And honestly, to rip that away from us was crazy. I've been in Vegas already and it nothing like it. No
It
experience.
looks nice. It's shiny. Like it looks great.
Yeah, it does. Definitely. Looks like it should be the next Star Wars movie. You know what I'm saying?
It looks
Um,
great.
but the parking lot, the before game vibe and stuff like that, it's just not the same. But
Yeah,
that doesn't make me be any more less of a fan. I'm never gonna turn my back on them, regardless of where they went. I just would like to see. I would, in my lifetime, be able to enjoy one of these. You know what I'm saying? For the black and silver, something to be able to go and experience and see. Because I know when the Warriors started getting there, it was an amazing experience, life changing. It was something great to see. It's a good thing to be able to talk to your kids about. Like you got to live through that. You know what I'm saying? The same thing they show in the documentary. Also, oh yeah, I was there. You know what I'm saying? And that'd be cool to see. So for our sake, and I said like we're definitely gonna go into this more when NFL starts more. But for our sake, I just really hope that everything Josh is doing is it's working out. I was like, because also with me, I'm a hard judge on Josh because we've all seen how his head coaching experiences in the past has been, and sometimes it's not the best results.
yeah. I
So
I'm gonna give him. I'm gonna give him another. This year is gonna tell a lot for me because last year he really just ran it back basically with everybody that was from the old regime, and he's brought in a lot of his guys in for his system. So this year will tell me a lot about can we actually take a step forward.
yeah.
He inherited a whole team that was not his. So we'll see, man. We'll like you said, we'll get into this more. But so we're gonna go around the world. Just topics that are, everybody's talking about right now. And last week was dominated by a little bitty submarine that was going to tour the Titanic. 5 people lost their lives, and it's crazy because we're talking about this, but 5 people did, pass away in this incident. But it was the number one topic for so long in the news. But what was your thoughts, man, when you first saw the submarine going down to tour the Titanic? What was your thoughts?
So it's actually crazy. I didn't really know nothing about it until they got lost. You know what I'm saying? Because it was on Twitter for a minute about what's going on, but I was like super busy, engaged with work, doing a lot of things, and didn't really think about it. And then when it got lost, is when I tuned into it, and I was it's heartbreaking. Rest in peace to all of them. Condolences to their families. I understand that at the end of the day, nobody wants to lose anybody in any way. And I definitely don't want anybody to think that, I'm here to poke fun or, judge them for what they did, but my whole thing about this whole topic is, and it's crazy because I was sitting down with my fiance talking about this. She bring up a good point that she had seen. It was like there's so many things going on in the world right now, and a lot of these things that are happening to other people, they didn't ask for, they didn't sign up for it, they didn't, they didn't choose it and stuff like that. But these five guys chose to get in there, to go on this trip, knowing there was a
High chance.
80% chance that they weren't gonna make it back. Because from what I heard, if I heard it correct, it was a 8-hour trip or a 6-hour trip, and they had 8 hours of oxygen. It's like, knowing those numbers, like, why would you put yourself in that situation? I get it. The whole thing about this world nowadays is you want to be the first to do something crazy. That's how you blow up. Something like that is crazy, and you can definitely you can take it to heights and interviews and all everything out the wazoo. But it's like, why would you put yourself in a situation where there's a high probability you won't make it back? And for me, that is the thing that really hit home to me, because that's true. Like, if you're choosing to put yourself in this situation and now the world is blowing it up, the world is just making it seem like such a big, it's big. Don't get me wrong, it's big, but they're making it seem like it was so much worse than what it was. And it's like, at the end of the day, these men made a choice. And let's just be honest with that choice that they made. And them making this choice, it pretty much, now everybody in the world has to pretty much feel super sorry for them. And for me, it's like, I can't be that sorry, because, like I said, there's so many other people. There's so many other things. There's so many other, natural disasters going on in the world. Kids being abducted, people being killed by, police for no reason. Things going on. It's just crazy. And it's like, why are we not putting the onus and the importance and the magnifying glass on those things, but we're choosing to put a magnifying glass on something that people made their own decision? And at the end of the day, that decision I don't want to say it needs to be nitpicked at, but it does need to be apparent, and it does need to be known that that was their choice, because nobody put a gun to their head and told them to get in there. What I'm saying? Nobody told them you go or not. What I'm saying? That was their choice.
There was a 19-year-old kid who went with his dad on the on the submarine. That's the one situation where I'm like, I feel bad for, because his aunts already came out and said he didn't want to go. He went because potentially it was Father's Day kind of thing. Like, they said he didn't really want to go. So in that situation, I'm like, okay, that's not cool.
Yes.
But the rest of it, yeah, you made the decision to go down there. But the timing of it is weird, because there was like a big, humongous boat that disappeared in Greece that was that was carrying 700 people that disappeared, and we heard nothing about it. 700 people. It's just the timing of it and how it captured everybody was just, they feed us so many different whatever, they're feeding us this, and it's like, man, there's a lot of other things that are important also. So but yeah, man, just wanted to touch on that that a little bit. So it is no basketball, there's no football on. We got a lot more time. I downloaded the Stars app this week. I probably turned my Hulu back on. This is where I catch up on a lot of shows. I watched BMF. I watched BMF last week. That's the show I did. Yeah, I just watched both seasons. I hadn't watched it. I watched like
at all.
I watched like 3 episodes and I fell off. I just fell off, and I just watched all of it. But what are you watching right now?
So it's actually crazy. During this time, yes, I'm a big football, basketball fan. Don't get me wrong, I love baseball. I have a lot of friends that play baseball. But for me, baseball for me is more of a playoff time thing that I'm into. You know what I'm saying? When the game is a lot more exciting. But also, I'm actually super intrigued by baseball right now because of the new things they're putting in place and how the games are going faster and more entertaining. And that's super cool. But me right now, what I'm watching, to be honest, me and my fiance just got done watching the Barbecue Showdown on Netflix. Me, you know what I'm saying?
I got that on my list.
Dude,
How is it?
it's super cool. It's hella entertaining, and it's also
Yeah.
one of those things that it makes you want to go barbecue. You know what I'm
Barbecue.
saying? Makes you want to go make something that you know you can make, because you know this ain't barbecuing is something that you learn over time and you can do on your own as a kid and stuff like that. You ain't got to go to chef school to learn how to make escargot or that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? This is something that everybody does on an everyday thing, and it's super cool. That the show is I like I didn't watch the whole first season. First season I watched partial of it. We more so caught into it on the second season. This one was hella cool because for me there was a lot of challenges. They didn't throw them too many loops, but there's if you get into it, you'll see there's two dudes in there, and I'm not gonna spoil it for nobody, but there's two dudes in there that became very close, and it was you could see it through the episodes. And it was just amazing to see their relationship develop. And you would never think watching a barbecuing competition that you'd be able to see something like that. And it was cool. But it was cool. Made me hungry. I went and bought like 8 pounds of tri-tip the other day. Started trimming it up. Did a little barbecue for my soon-to-be father-in-law for Father's Day.
There we go.
So that's about it. And then other than that, you know me, the big fisherman. So I'm heavy on YouTube, just searching through fishing videos, stuff like that. Just trying to keep my time intrigued. But yeah, it's pretty much good shows on Netflix, because I finished all the BMFs, the Power. I watched all the Power books. You know what I'm saying? Those things. I finished all of those, so I'm just kind of waiting for the next one, which is that Power Book 3, the Tommy series. But yeah, man, Barbecue Showdown. Not even gonna lie, I even started replaying back the first season with her, so we can enjoy that together. That's the thing we're watching right now.
I'm gonna check that out. I appreciate you saying that. And it's funny that you said about you went and bought a lot of tri-tip. This is something that is passionate for me, that our generation learns how to cook and learns how to barbecue, because I think especially for men, we need to learn how to barbecue.
Right.
Now, whether you have a family of your own or not, these OGs, they taught us how to cook, right? And when you go to these cookouts, it's time to retire them. It's time.
For real.
You know what I mean? Like, it's time for us to step up and get on the grill and make something at these cookouts and these family functions. So shout out to you to watching that.
Uncle sit down and have a beer.
Go sit down, Unc. You did your time. It's our time now. Go sit down. That's all I'm saying, bro. Like, it's our time.
That's true. And that's the thing. Like, for me, I was taught to cook at a young age. You know what I'm saying? So I'm well versed in it. And it was like, and that was definitely one thing that I try to do now. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to that thing, because I get it. They didn't really get to enjoy too many parties and family functions when you had them, because they was doing nothing but cooking the whole time. And by the time they was done cooking, they was tired, sweating, sitting in a lawn chair with what beer they had, fall asleep with the beer spilling. Like, you go sick because they tired.
It's our time to do that. It's our time now.
And, we got to embrace most of the generation don't know how to cook.
Nah,
they don't.
We got to embrace being the unc now, being the uncle, being the OG. We got to embrace it. Learn how to make some ribs, some chicken, whatever you like. But it's time for us to step in and do that for real.
Yep, that's hella. That's hella funny to say, because that's the truth. That's the
true,
full-hearted truth, man.
All right, man. Well, I think that's a wrap for today.
So, man, that's a wrap for today. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the first episode. More to come. Definitely stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button. You're gonna find this everywhere. Definitely keep them notifications on. It's gonna be a good time, an entertaining time. Definitely look forward to everything we got coming. A lot of faces, familiar faces you're gonna see on here very soon. A lot of familiar topics. And at the end of the day, we both are on social media. You definitely be getting to see our page, our group page. Hey, shoot us a DM. Something you want us to talk about. Anything you want us to cover. You know what I'm saying? We are definitely open to everything. That's one thing about this thing. I definitely don't want to keep it to the point where it's one lane. I want people to be able to, their voice be put out, even if I can. Because my dog's in the back telling me it's time to go. But man, once again, you are rocking with No More Timeouts. Rashad and JJ. I just want to say thank y'all for tuning into another episode. Y'all go have a good one.